Hello, today we are going to share on the readings of the 33rd Sunday, and the Gospel of this Sunday would share on a parable. The master would be going on a long journey, and he asked three of his servants to take care of his property, and he gave five talents to one servant, and 2 talents to one, and 1 talent to one. And this time, this parable would be about taking responsibility. And we will talk more about this when we come to the Gospel. The first reading is from the book of Proverbs. When one finds a worthy wife, her value is far beyond pearls. Her husband, entrusting his heart to her, has an unfailing prize. She brings him good and not evil all the days of her life. She obtains wool and flax and works with loving hands. So she would be caring for her husband. She puts her hands to the distaff and her fingers ply the spindle. She reaches out her hands to the poor and extends her arms to the needy. So she would care for her husband, but she would also care for the poor and the needy. So this is an ideal wife, and this reading is bringing this out. And she reaches out her hands to the poor and extends her arms to the needy. Charm is deceptive and beauty fleeting. The woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her a reward for her labors, and let her works praise her at the city gates. So this is an ideal, good lady, a wife, and caring for the needs of the needy. Then we come to the second reading. Concerning, second reading is 1 Thessalonians. Concerning times and seasons, brothers and sisters, you have no need for anything to be written to you, for you yourselves know very well that the day of the Lord will come like a thief at night. When people are saying peace and security, then sudden disaster comes upon them. So here the apostle was speaking to the community, and that they would know when the Lord will come. The day of the Lord will come suddenly. So they are prepared for the Lord, and they are often very near to the Lord. So they are not afraid of the Lord suddenly appearing. And then when people are saying peace and security, then sudden disaster comes upon them. Like labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. So these would be the people who are not prepared to receive the sudden arrival of the Christ. But you, brothers and sisters, are not in darkness, for that day to overtake you like a thief. For all of you are children of the light and children of the day. So they are not in the dark because they are near to Christ and prepared for Him to appear. But the others who are not prepared for this, the suddenness of the appearance of Christ would be fearful for them and would be like the night. But those who are near to Christ would be children of the light and children of the day. We are not of the night or of darkness, therefore let us not sleep as the rest do, but let us stay alert and sober. So Christians, the community, the members of the community must remain alert and sober, and so they are not in darkness. Then we come to the gospel. Jesus told his disciples this parable. A man going on a journey called in his servants and entrusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to a third 1, to each according to his ability. So the master would share out his possessions to the people, to his servants, according to their ability. He would not demand more than their ability. And then he went away, the master. After a long time, the master of those servants came back and settled accounts with them. The one who had received 5 talents came forward bringing the additional 5. He said, Master, you gave me 5 talents. See, I have made 5 more. His master said to him, Well done, my good and faithful servant. So the first servant did accept his responsibility and earned 5 more talents with the 5 talents that the master entrusted to him. So he was responsible and did his share, did his work. So the master said, Well done, my good and faithful servant. Since you were faithful in small matters, I will give you great responsibilities. Come, share your master's joy. So this reading, we have chosen the short version, the shorter version, but the longer version will also speak about the other 2 servants. And I think we need to speak a little bit about the other 2 servants. So the first servant earned 5 talents for his master, and the second servant earned 2 talents for his master. Then the third one, he received 1 talent, but he did not do anything. He just hid the 1 talent, and when the master came back, he had nothing more to give the master, but only the 1 talent that he received. So he did not use his ability for the sake of the master. So he was not responsible. So he had none, 0. He earned nothing. So he did nothing. And this would tell us we must accept our responsibility and do what we can. And for the Master, here would be for God, but also for others. So here we come to, in caring for the environment, we have been lacking. And now we have the climate crisis. So many things we should have done, but have not done. And the result was the deterioration of the environment, and so we have to, and now we have the climate crisis, and we have to pick up this thing again and do what we can to resolve the problem. And the Pope has called on the Church to do something, to do more, and call upon the world to do more. And we all have to do more. The Hong Kong Church has to do more. The Hong Kong Catholics and Christians and religious people must do more. We must take up our responsibility to care for God's creation, to care for the world, and in caring for the world, caring for ourselves and for other people. So here we have been somewhat irresponsible, and in Hong Kong now we still use throwaway plastic, and we have to stop that. Don't damage the environment. This is very damaging to the environment. And Greenpeace, Hong Kong Greenpeace, they have suggested reusing utensils, and they have indicated we have to do that. And in the reuse, they pointed out that we would reduce trash and reduce carbon emissions, and we will be using less water and less resources. So here Greenpeace also have an arrangement with some of the cafe, some of the food stalls and things to reuse cups, reuse utensils, and they say reusing would be we would be better than using throwaway things, and even would be better than just pick up what we have used and rework it out. But he said reusing things would here we have already said, we would use less water, less resources, and we would reduce creating trash and reduce carbon emissions. So here they would say what would be reusing utensils or cups would reduce greenhouse emissions by 25%, reduce water by 37%, use less water, and use less resources by 37%. And lessen, reduce toxic things by 34%. So Greenpeace is doing very good work, and we have to start doing all sorts of this kind of caring for the environment and reducing waste and things like that. So we have to know that loving God, loving humans, and loving the earth would require us to do that. If we love God, we have to love His creation, respect His creation. If we love humans, we must not damage the earth, the environment. And we must learn to love God's creation, the earth, and so maintain a healthy environment for that the people would also be healthy. So loving God, loving humans, and loving the earth would include this. And we all have to do that more, especially this year, starting this year and continuing with the whole church all over the world, continue with all the nations. And when we deal with things or nations, we have to consider the humanitarian considerations. Now the war between Israel and Gaza and Palestinians, the recent war, the war would kill more than 11,000 citizens, ordinary citizens, and had killed more than 4,000 children. That would be about 40% of the whole of the civilians killed, and women would be about 30%. So this is very serious, but the numbers must be very much greater number than what we have. This would be some time ago. So we need to create peace. We need to take up our responsibility and create peace. God has given us talents, abilities to care for one another and to care for the environment. So we must not damage the environment. We have to use our abilities. We have to take up our responsibility. And so we need to create peace at the same time and care for the environment, loving God, loving humans, and loving the earth. God bless.